I'm not originally from Oklahoma. I'm from Texas. I was a military brat, so we moved around a lot. I've been brewing for like 15 years. It was a hobby. I like cooking. I do lots of different culinary things. I was an award-winning chili cook. I was an award-winning brisket guy and rib guy, and I was in advertising. And so the advertising was a stress days. And I just needed something that was creative, that I didn't have to write anything. I didn't have to shoot anything and everything else. And food became part of that. And I was like, all right, I got food down. And then somebody said something about making beer. And I was like, I love beer. I've drank beer around the world. That would be a good idea. So I started doing the home brew thing. And it's the cliche of most every brewer around. They started out home brewing. They brewed in college or something like that. And then they just graduated up. And so I did it for about 15 years and made the beer for my daughter's wedding, and the kids that were there, I say kids, they were 23-year-olds going, you could sell this is great. And I was like, okay, thank you. And then life hit. It's like you get to that certain point, and again, it's pretty much a cliche that advertising wasn't fun anymore. I was creative director, I owned my own agency. I spent more time in meetings. I'd get there at 6 a.m., and I wouldn't actually create anything until like 7 p.m. I'd be there all day, and all the meetings were done, and then I actually would sit down, and by that time I was exhausted. And one thing led to another, and I was like, I'm done. I just can't do this anymore. And my wife goes, so what do you want to do? I'm like, I'd really like to brew beer. And she goes, okay. I said, that would take every dime that we have. To open up a brewery and do this as a professional thing, and we could get, investors and everything else. She goes, would you be happy? I think so. I'm happy when I brew, and I turn my music up, and, I dance around the kitchen and brew beer, and I like that. She goes, then do it. And that's how we got the name The Cape, because, we were like, all right, this is what we're going to do. Absolutely. And we came up with these awful names. It's kind of like nothing's left. It's like there wasn't any names left. And when I was a kid, I was really awkward. I wasn't like one of those really social kids. I was I was skinny and didn't make a lot of friends and everything else. And my dad, to try to help me, he took this Schwinn bike and stripped it down and painted it candy apple red. And I had a banana seat, a sissy bar, and put the things. And he thought, well, if you go out there, riding this around, you'll make friends. And so to keep the Geek King going, I would like tie my mom's towels around my neck, and now I was I could fly around town, and I was a superhero. I could do anything I wanted to. I had my cape on, not realizing that I was kind of a geeky kid on a bike with a cape flapping in the breeze. But back then you could ride your bike sun up to sundown, and nobody cared. And so when we were talking about names, my wife's like, that story you always tell about the Cape? Yeah. You kind of need one now? I said, yeah, I'm at 57 years old, and every dime that we have is going into a brewery during the middle of a pandemic. I think we need some sort of protection. She goes, we'll call it the Cape. Jenks is perfect for families, and we're going to be a family-oriented place. We've got a kids area. We've got outside. We've got a patio for kids. We're going to be, kid-friendly. We'll be dog-friendly, too, if the dogs are friendly. Able is a longer process, and they want to, do due diligence. And there's a 4 to 7 week is what I was told. We handed in I drove to Oklahoma City, dropped the paperwork in myself, and they went, thank you very much, you'll be in touch. And so until Able comes in and gives us our certificate, we can't brew a drop. And then so what I want to make sure is, like, as soon as they say you're go, we will nonstop brew until we've got 7 vat or 6 vats back there until every one of them's full. But I designed a Asian ale after Sapporo and Asahi, and it is same sort of thing, but it's rice based, so it has an even thinner flavor to it, mouthfeel, very low on hops. So we've got an Asian ale, we've got the Kolsch, we have the beer that I did at my daughter's wedding, which is a honey blonde. We've got a Maibach that we've got, is really nice. An Irish ale. Everybody loves the Irish ale. We will have a porter. A Mexican stout. The porter we're still working on. And an IPA. And we did, what I designed on the IPA is West Coast is very hoppy, East Coast is very juicy, and so I did the Mid-Coast Oklahoma IPA. As a matter of fact, I just tested it this morning. It's dead on. Need to add a little bit more floral to the nose on it, but it sits really. It's a very sessionable IPA. Low ABV, nice flavor, but you can crush this all day long. You can get 4 of these and not have a problem with it. So, and then we're going to have a seltzer and a root beer. The seltzer, we're going to do something that nobody has done yet. We're going to have a naked seltzer. And these guys are designing, will have flavors that you pump in, and they're designing the recipes so that you come in and say, ooh, I like that Hawaiian, tropical. It's a pump of this, a pump of that, and a pump of this. And it goes. I stole the idea from the guys over at Nothing's Left. They did it with one of their beers and pumped in a flavor. I was like, I bet I can do that even easier with a seltzer.
Yeah, I coach 2 soccer teams, and once a week, both teams train down at the end of the shopping center at Sports Armory. And so the thing that I always notice is, what do the parents do? They can sit in the car, or they can sit and watch their kid practice, which really nobody wants to do that. So this is kind of the perfect getaway. Come down for an hour, have a beer, go pick your kid up, and go home. That's one experience. And then the other experience, I think, is going to be the destination, right, for the people that live in this part of the city, and then South Tulsa and Bixby. There's nothing like this anywhere around. And you've got the outdoor space as well, so we hope to be just the place that people think of in this part of Tulsa and the suburbs when they think of, what are we going to do on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday? Come catch some live music, have a beer, you can bring the kids. So it'll be 2 totally different experiences, but that's kind of what we're hoping for. With the outdoor space, there's permanent space for 2 food trucks where they can come and plug in, and they don't have to have the generator, so that gets rid of that terrible noise. But we're also going to do just really simple, small plates like cheese and charcuterie, maybe like pretzels and beer cheese, just easy stuff that traditionally goes well with beer and will keep people seated, keep butts in seats and drinking beer. Nothing too difficult, nothing that's going to be not approachable to anyone's tastes or wants. I'm just really excited to get the doors open, get the fermenters full, and see people in this building. I think it's going to be fantastic.